We're on our way to Nashi, 2 jumps away. We're going there to see how we'll do against pirates that are hiding out in the asteroid belts there. It's a 0.8 system, so they should be about the easiest pirates in the game. And that's a good thing, because right now we're in a Velator, a Corvette-class ship, with only 2 civilian Gatling railguns and a civilian afterburner. As a child, you may have read about Jane in a popular series of books used in school to teach children how to read. But the conventional happy image of her life painted in those stories was a lie. All grown up now, she has become a capsuleer with a chip on her shoulder and a commitment to follow 4 rules she calls her guiding stars. These are the adventures of Jane Honesty, and in this challenge, we shall see how and how far Jane can fly while staying true to her convictions. And here we are. We'll hop right into it, off to the first belt.
Warp drive active.
So, as we're landing, we can see that there are 3 pirates in here, and that one of them is a Serpentis Initiate, another is a Serpentis Scout, and the third is a Serpentis Harvester. Now, of the 3, the Scout is likely to hit the hardest, and the Initiate is also going to be a combat ship. The Harvester, though, is not going to shoot at us. The Harvester is kind of a rare spawn, comparatively anyway, that will drop some minerals more than likely, but won't be a part of the combat other than us destroying it and collecting the minerals that he's carrying. So I'm going to orbit the Scout first, because I'd like to get the ship with the most potential incoming damage off of the grid first, because our armor is paper thin. We don't want to be taking damage any longer than necessary. We want to minimize that. So we get the guns going, and so far so good. Orbiting with the afterburner on again to increase our transversal velocity, so that he can't track us quite as well. So far, everything holding up magnificently, chipping into the shields just a little bit, and the first one's down. So next we orbit the Initiate and get the guns going on him. He'll be pretty quick to go down, I think, compared to the Scout. The Scout was not all that hard. Another little chunk out of the shield. Not too bad. There's the Initiate down. Alright, now, with all of the incoming DPS out of the way, we can concentrate on the Harvester. See how long it takes with these little civilian guns to take him out. So I just turned on the guns. I'm going to leave them running. These little civilian Gatling railguns don't use any ammunition. We'll have to be more careful about that when we find guns that do require ammunition, and not just leave them running and use up all our ammunition. But as we get closer here, we should, yeah, there we go, starting to apply some damage. And there he is. In a Nerus. Just orbit around him. Let the guns do their work. Probably be a little bit slow going into the armor now. Well, not as slow as I thought it might have been. Already a third of the way through. Let's get a good look at him here. And you can get the sense of the difference in size. There we are way at the top in our little Velotor and him in the middle. Okay, finally into structure. So without his combat escorts, he doesn't do any shooting himself. It's just a matter of time before he goes down. We get all the time we need out here. And there he goes. Last little bit. Explosions in this game are one of the best things about it. Even the NPCs die elegantly. Look at that. Alright. So now it's time to see what these pirates left for us in their wreckage. And I'm gonna go check out the two little ones first. They'll be probably metal scraps. Yep, metal scraps is it. Oh, Serpentis copper tag. Nice. Okay. And now for the hauler here, we'll see how much he dropped for us. Titanium. Pretty good chunk of it there. If we grab as much as we can, we get, what, all but 11? Hey, well, not bad. I thought there might be more than that, but I guess in a 0.8 system where they are pretty easy to kill, we don't get as much as we might have in other places. We'll mark this wreck's location so that we can come back to it later. 11 titanium in the grand scheme of things isn't really a whole lot, but just starting out, those minerals will come in handy when we're trying very soon to build something. So I'm going to head into a station and drop this stuff off, because if we go somewhere else at this point and we get more loot, we won't be able to hold it. While we're in station, it's a good time to review why we're hunting for pirates in these asteroid belts. Our primary goal at this point is to ship up into a proper frigate, but because Jane can't do career agent missions, which would give her plenty of money and several good frigates, even a destroyer, we have to find some other way to raise the money and resources for building a frigate from a blueprint and minerals. The frigate blueprint, depending on which frigate Jane decides to go with, will cost on the NPC market between 2.3 and 2.8 million ISK. On top of that, Jane will have to get the materials used in the manufacturing process. Hunting down and killing pirates checks both the money and the minerals boxes. Every pirate Jane kills awards her a bounty, and metal scraps and other modules she finds in their wrecks can be reprocessed into the minerals she'll need. Along the way, some of the modules she finds will also be useful for upgrading the capabilities of her current ship. Right now, her Velotor Shade has 2 civilian Gatling railguns and a civilian afterburner. That's it. So literally any blaster or railgun found in a pirate wreck will improve her ability to kill more well-defended enemies. And any afterburner she finds will increase Shade's speed. Besides that, there are a few other modules Jane would like. Any kind of armor or armor repairer would be fitted to one of the low power slots and go a long way to improve Shade's defensive capabilities. And something like a stasis webifier could be used in the empty mid slot, slowing enemies down, making them easier to catch and hit. Now, if we can't find these things in a pirate wreck, Jane may end up building them herself, but that would add to the money Jane will need, and since blueprints and modules also come at a price and require minerals to make, it ups the game a little bit. So Jane's intermediate goal is to find modules to improve Shade's ability to take on harder pirates, and with harder pirates come larger bounties that will get us to the 2-point-whatever million ISK she needs for the frigate blueprint. That's going to be a lot of pirates. It's time to get back out hunting. We're back at our home base, having chased down pirates in every asteroid belt in Shi and in the neighboring system of Galleru. We did find a few things in the wrecks. First off, we found a couple stacks of ammunition, 100 each of small iridium and thorium charges. We found a pile of metal scraps, nothing to write home about, but we will use these, so we're glad to have them. Next up, we found 2 drones, 1 warrior and 1 hobgoblin. These are great finds, and even though they're a mismatched pair, Jane is going to tuck these straight away into Shade's drone bay. We're still waiting to upgrade our guns, but meanwhile, these drones will be a huge benefit. If we go now to open up the fitting window, we can see that our damage has increased from the 7.8 that we had before to almost 26. That's more than 3 times the damage output we're capable of now. Then, we found 2 different flavors of 100mm armor plates. We have 1 of these crystalline carbonide plates and 2 of these rolled tungsten compact plates. Either kind will help us out here, but which to choose? If we compare the traits that are different between these 2, we can see that the added mass of the rolled tungsten is higher, meaning that while both kinds will slow us down and make us less agile. The tungsten will slow us down more. Moving over to the power grid, in this column, the crystalline carbonide version will take more power. And likewise, when it comes to CPU, the crystalline carbonide will use more of the ship's processor. On balance, for now, we're not hurting for either power grid or CPU space, so until we start needing power or compute for other modules, the crystalline carbide with its lower mass is the one Jane will go with. So as we install these, let's see how that affects Shade's stats. We start with 901 effective hit points, and with the plates, we've now got 1327, an increase of about 425, or almost a 50% gain. That's not bad at all. We just have one problem, which is that you may have noticed this warning that's popped up alerting us to a problem with Jane's skills. To actually fly these drones, Jane needs to buy and train light drone operation. Clicking into the market, we see that these are available only 3 jumps away. We need to be selective though, because some of these skill books are for sale by players. Fortunately, this order in Balle is an NPC sale, so that's the one we'll need to buy. 75,000 ISK. How did our bounties do from all those pirates? Not too bad. We started the day with 5,000 ISK, and now we have over 142,000 in the wallet. And we're going to spend half of that on training for our drones, but that'll be more than worth it. So all that's left to do is close down all these windows and head off to Balle. Light Drone Operation Skill Book, 750,000 ISK. Buy it.
Epic action, epic romance, epic loves, epic drama. Hollow builds from impetus, escape into the epic.
And now, let's find it in our inventory. We'll start training level 1. Yep, gonna start training it. And while we're at it, we might as well go into our skill queue and queue up the next couple levels of that, because each level that we train increases those drones' damage just a little bit more, so we might as well get the most we can out of them. And with that all set, we can head back home. So, for Jane's first day out, we did pretty well. The pirates in these 0.8 systems were completely manageable with the starting capabilities of a Velator. We managed to find a couple drones to triple our damage and armor plates that add a nice buffer to our survivability. We got enough in bounties to buy the light drone's operation skill to be able to fly our new drones, and with the last bounty ticks that came in while we were traveling, we still have over 100,000 ISK in the wallet, having started from 5,000 at the beginning of the day. Now that Shade is getting more powerful, it's time to leave 0.8 space and move on to 0.7 and lower systems in search of tougher pirates, bigger bounties, and more modules to add to Shade's powers. Because if we want to get into a proper frigate, first we're going to have to push the capabilities of our little Velator to the limit. Hi, I'm Casparius. The pilot episode of The Adventures of Jane Honesty did well, so here we are back with Jane to continue the series in earnest. If all goes according to plan, I'll do my best to release future episodes on a weekly schedule, give or take a day or two. And thank you for watching today's episode. I know there are 1,001 things you could have been doing today, but you chose to take 20 minutes of your time to play Eve Online with me. I do appreciate that, and I hope you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed recording it.